Hey, what's going on? It's the Mad Hatter from the Mad Hatter Show podcast, and I just wanted to add a caveat before this one right here. We got the great icon Scarface. When we set up this interview, I totally had no clue because I don't keep up with the trends of today. I watch a lot of like Bloomberg and stuff like that in my free time and, news, but I didn't know that the Grammys was going on. Then he did that incredible performance, and then they did the 50th Hip Hop Awards performance, and people have their says about if that was a good look or a bad look, but it was good to me to see Scarface on there. And there were probably a lot of questions about Face appearing without Willie D, and I know there was a podcast that came out days later. The funny thing is we did this right after the Grammy performance, right when Willie D had dropped his comments about his thoughts on why he was not performing at the Grammys. So my podcast is not about any type of drama. I'm not like some of the other podcasts out there or digital assets out there trying to drum up, it would be great to have a lot of views, but I don't want to do it by creating more controversy, especially with people that I admire and look up to, like these guys, especially from a group that had so much to do in me being in Houston and, my thoughts on hip hop and the whole nine. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. And I did ask him the question about it. We were having a pretty just leisurely conversation. I didn't know it was going to be the controversial thing that it turned out to be. And, I was getting some honest responses from Scarface. But due to me just being uncomfortable with, looking like somebody might be trying to catch a wave of something to go viral, if you will, I took it out. I thought we had a pretty lively conversation anyway without it. That most certainly probably could have made it liver. But I don't want to be a part of any dissension amongst these two brothers, because my hope is always that brothers are going to work it out in their situation because of what I think the Geto Boys stand for. So saying all that, enjoy this podcast. It is still good. But if you're looking for me to ask that question, and I left a little piece in there so you would know that we did have that discussion, but I'm just letting you know I did edit it. I personally went back into what my guys had already put together and edited out myself just to make sure I have the original piece and nobody else had it, and that I could edit it out so it can't ever come out. And if Scarface one day says, I don't care, run it, or even Willie D, I doubt it seriously. Like I said before, I just want to see two brothers work their differences out. And with that being said, enjoy the Mad Hatter Show podcast. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube page, please do such. If you're listening to the audio version, you can still subscribe to the visual version. But I do appreciate you guys coming here week in, week out, downloading, checking out the podcast, because I do it because I just love these folks and these conversations, and maybe one day I'll figure out how to start trying to monetize this thing. But enjoy the interview in the meantime, and have a great one.
I don't really know how to start this this Mad Hatter podcast on this one right here. I'm talking to the legend, the great, the icon, every rapper's favorite rap. I hate sometimes talking to Face because he's deep down inside, he know he's the shiznit, right? But he and I get it. You want to be humble in life, but he know he's a lot of the great rappers that we think of. Their favorite rapper is Scarface. This is documented truth.
Let me tell you something, man.
Here we go.
If Scarface was that great, he could do it again.
You don't want to. This is the guy that says he wants to just be normal.
If Scarface was that great, you remember the first Scarface album? If he was that great, he could have did it again on the second Scarface album, or the third, or the fourth. If he was that great,
all those albums are great. What are you talking about, bro?
The fifth album. Wait a minute. If he was that great, he could have did it on his last album. If he was that great. Now, the question is, was he really that great?
Face. Greatness is not an accumulation of how many records you move or how much money you make. It's the impact of the artist.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why I'm saying I'm not that great.
You know what? If you have Rakim,
okay,
when you think about Rakim, We all think about the Paid in Full album.
Sure.
I don't even think about the other records. He is still, to this day, my number one most favorite rapper of all time. Why? He was a game changer.
Because he had an impact. He had
God, Face.
He had the impact.
You try to tell me you did not have a... Come on, Face.
No, I'm saying
Face.
he did have the impact. He does.
And you do not?
I'm not going to say that.
Listen, I'm sure Rakim would like to have sold millions of copies of records every time he put out a record to this day. But most MCs recognize him as one of the greatest to ever do it.
One of the greatest. I'm going to tell you a story.
Not a doubtable story there.
I had the opportunity to meet with Rakim over this past weekend at the Grammys. Mm-hmm. And we sat down and had a conversation, and he told me that I said a line in one of my songs that he wished he would have said.
What line was it?
I wish that I could save everyone, but I'm a dreamer. That's what he said. That's what the greatest rapper of all time said out of his mouth to little old me.
I'm not going to tell Scarface that I sampled that very thing on one of my records because there's legalities there.
Yeah. Hey, don't tell me.
But listen. But I'm a dreamer. That's the part. So I'm with Rakim on that. Yeah. But for you to sit here with me, because what you're doing is equating numerical numbers to greatness, and that's not what it's about. I don't care what anybody ever says. That's cool if you can be Drizzy like right now and all your records, do millions and millions of copies, and Drake is great. But to say that if I was so great, my last record would have been super.
No, that's not why I was saying that.
Okay, say it.
I was saying that because if I was so great, I would have did it again and did it again and did it again and did it again, which I did do it again. But there was always one in the crowd that said that so-and-so was your best album. All right? Jay-Z said something that was profound. He said, if you want to hear my old music, go buy my old music. Like, we moved on. We grew up, had her. You know what I'm saying? We're not making those records anymore. I said that to you because I'm all right. I'm not the best, and I feel like I got by, and I'm saying this right now because I'm done. I feel like I got by because I was so good at what I did is because I produced the beats that I rapped to. So it made it a lot easier.
So we are agreeing that you were great.
I'm okay. I'm all right.
This guy.
But the reason why I was so good.
So you were great.
I said the reason why I was so okay is because I rapped to the beats that I produced. I had something to do with the production.
Why did Rakim say that you was one of the best? Throw the tracks aside. It's for Rakim didn't quote how dope the beat was. He quoted how dope the lyric was. He didn't care about the music. That's what you got to understand. So when people say you're their favorite rapper, they don't give a shit about the beat, Face. They care about what the MC was saying on the track. Like, wow, did you just hear what he just said? It's cool that it had a cool beat. And some people, because they make cool beats, they sell a lot of records.
Sure.
But what I'm trying to tell you, no one is saying Scarface was great because of that beat he was on. If the beat was good by happenstance, cool. But you're great because of the MC. See, we're going to fight. See, I'm not going to let you draw me into this fight that we'll have.
We're done with the fight. The fight's over.
I'm not letting you, man.
It was a draw.
Because, no, it's not a draw. Because if I get a group of people who know about hip-hop, they're going to be like, come on, Face.
Okay.
No, let me ask you this, and I want you to answer honestly. Do you know that you're at least one of the greatest rappers to have ever done? Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
No question about it.
My man. We're being honest with you.
Now, can I be real with you now?
Sure.
Listening to all the rest of this shit that's been out or came out or coming out, yes.
No. Face, you're the reason why what's out is out.
The trash.
Face, you the NWA, the Dr. Dre's, what have you. You are the creators of what you see today. You are the fathers. You are the parents of what you hear today.
Well, you know, I'm gonna blame Dre, and I'm gonna blame.
You don't have a part in that. Face.
I'm gonna blame myself. You know why?
And not in a bad way, but because
not in the bad way.
You all were young guys doing what you were doing.
We left our craft to do something else. So the blueprint. See, think about it. I'm gonna give you something. Seriously.
Okay.
Okay. So Eric B. Rakim left a blueprint.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
Slick Rick left a blueprint.
Sure.
Run DMC left a blueprint.
Absolutely.
For us to follow.
Absolutely.
NWA left the blueprint for us to follow. Dre left the blueprint. You know, Goody Mob left the blueprint.
And Geto Boys and Scarface left the blueprint.
Okay, they left the blueprint.
Okay, you agree.
All right.
Okay,
now,
cool.
when we finish up and we pass the baton, nobody behind that left the blueprint. They didn't know how to make albums. That's when everything started sounding the same. The blueprint for hip-hop was null. Nobody knew what to do now, so you just got some kids just walking around with this podcast, right?
Yes, sir.
You got some kids just walking around dressing in tight ass pants, you know, trying to figure it out.
No, that's just their generation.
That's fine.
That's just that's where they're from. You were part of another deal.
I love that.
And you guys came from a creative place where there was nothing to actually follow. So
That's
these kids
fine.
are lucky to wake up in the morning with a blueprint that was laid out for them so they can do whatever they want.
But that
tight
blueprint
pants
is
and
not
crazy
being
whatever.
followed. It's not being followed because there's no biting allowed, Hatter. No biting allowed.
Okay,
the blueprint's not followed.
I agree. But they have grown up seeing you guys make a ton of cash, and so everyone wants to get out the situation.
That's
a lot of these kids want to,
fine.
and that's what they know. So they think that's
So
what
the
they need to do to get out of whatever the situation.
Does it sound like somebody else?
If they think that's what it's going to take for them to get out of their situation,
Bro, we don't sound. But that blueprint that was laid for us, we didn't sound like nobody.
You did
because you couldn't make it.
You're right.
I had a perfect example, Hatter. You have artists that come out sounding like Tupac, or they come out sounding like Biggie, or they come out sounding like this guy or that guy, and they never made it because we already had one of those. You feel me? We already had a Nas. So you can't come in here acting like you Nas, bro. He's over here. This is Nas. Who are you? You know.
By the way, for y'all watching, Face is looking at Rob G, who happens to be in the studio.
Oh,
so.
sorry. Yeah.
So I know they're like, why Face keep looking over there?
There's somebody sitting there.
So Rob G, he's screaming at me and also screaming at Rob. So I just want y'all to know
because they come as a tag team. You motherfuckers coming here to tag team me, man.
No, we don't.
Nah.
I'm talking to, and I'm being honest with Face. I just want him to acknowledge who
I
he
acknowledge.
is. And
Only
also,
because you said so.
And because what the things that he may not agree with these days, he is the father, he is the parent of all of that. Like it or not. That's it. That's the truth. You guys made this particular thing that all these kids eat out. I don't care if they don't remember you or nothing. They've watched somebody else who probably bit something that y'all did, all the greats, and that's just the way it is. So I don't want to shoot down the youngsters because they took these bits and pieces of the greats.
I wouldn't dare shoot them down. Because you have some youngsters that are very, very, very sturdy in this music industry.
Are. There's a couple of them.
There's a couple of them, you know. And I'm not mad at Kendrick. I'm not mad at Cole. I'm not mad at Marcus Clay. I'm not mad at Simba. I'm not mad at none of these kids. They are lyrically.
Okay, you just named top echelon MCs. What about the other ones, though?
I'm not mad at Glow.
I'm noticing the names he's saying, but
Glorilla, you don't know Glow? I'm not mad at her.
I like her.
I am not mad at the Migos.
Okay.
The Takeoff Kid.
He was dope.
He was dope.
And it's unfortunately his passing. I don't think anybody recognized his impact and his lyrical ability.
The man was incredible.
He was dope. I'm glad that you've not. I just don't want. I never want the kids that are coming out now to feel like it's an attack from the old school.
I would never attack the youth because the youth is.
But they all learned and got it from the blueprint. I'm just saying that they got whatever they do today.
They may have got it from. They may have got it from This Is Why I'm Hot. They may have got it from Soulja Boy. You never know. You never know. All I'm saying is this: I would never shit.
All those come after all of you guys. You created. Listen, man. There's a whole industry that got created when you guys. Right when y'all started, nobody knew that this thing was even. Face. We're in the 50th year of this. Nobody even knew that there would be this kind of impact with that.
That's true.
Right.
Let me.
So you
let me
still, because I feel like you fighting being a parent to some of these kids.
I have to because I mean you can give. I would rather you give that generation a Master P.
I don't even want to speculate what that means or ask deeper. I love Master P. He's always been good to me.
But I'm just saying you can give that generation to him. He should take responsibility for that generation.
Face, you got to take responsibility too.
No, sir.
I'm done with this conversation.
You should be. Listen. Now, if you're talking about, I'll take responsibility for South Circle. I'll take responsibility for UGK. I'll take responsibility for who else came up behind us. I'll take responsibility for that. Who else? Name somebody else. Name somebody. I'll tell you who I take responsibility for.
8 Volume JG.
Responsibility. I'm responsible. Go ahead.
I'm done. I'm not playing.
I'm just saying, but you're not gonna like. Listen, bro. Listen, man. And I love Lil Uzi Vert. Like, and I love Lil Baby. Like, those are two of my favorites too. But they're not my children.
They are, Faith.
They come from Master P. Don't laugh.
I don't know what that means, and I don't even want to speculate, and I don't want to dive into it.
So here's the thing.
Because somebody will watch this, take it the wrong way.
Don't take it the wrong way. We just having fun, man. They trying to give face to baby. It's Master P child. That's all it means.
Not the father.
Yeah, not me.
Oh, my God.
Here's my thing.
I'm going to let Face make the last point on that. I'm not fighting this no more.
So Lil Baby and Lil Uzi Vert, I met them over the weekend. And they are the humility level and the respect level that they have for
I believe it.
For me and for the OG, like, man, I was just so glad to see them, and they were even more so glad to see me, man.
Absolutely, they should be.
Man, Lil Uzi was like, bro, Lil Baby was like, man, respect, man. Like, I was like, damn. So
they supposed to.
No, they not.
Yes, they are. You are one of the parents that refuses to take responsibility for his children, but when they see you, they still like, family, thank you for what you've done and given to us. That's the okay. All right. P take the responsibility.
He should. He ain't got that. That ain't shit to be ashamed of. Now, Juvenile, on the other hand, that's my boy. You know?
Oh, you stupid! I'm done with you, Faye. Yeah. Juve.
Yeah,
I'm done with it.
Who else? Fucking Lil Wayne, that's my son. Yeah, I claim that.
You can't pick and choose.
I have to.
No, you can't, Faye.
Man, you're not finna give me goddamn me what's that little dude, man? I'm not finna rap no high 16 like Scarface. Who is that? What's that boy name? Damn. No, that wasn't Yachty.
You got me. I can't
remember.
Is it
Lil Uzi? You got a Lil Uzi and a Lil Uzi Vert, don't you?
No, they all the same face. One person, straight out of Philly.
Okay, he dope. I love Lil Baby.
Look, he looking to find it.
I'm trying. You mean they got little?
It's a couple of littles. It's a couple of them. It's all right, Faith.
Then what's the dude said he not gonna rap a hot 16 like Scarface?
I don't know who that is. Find it, Rob. When you find it, holler back. What's Scarface's contribution to hip hop? What legacy has he left behind? Because he's in denial of parenting many, and refuses to acknowledge sometimes his presence in it and what he's done. So what's his contribution? What's his legacy to this thing we call hip hop on its 50th year?
I've done my best. That's what I've done. My contribution to hip hop was my best. Me. I don't know what else to say. I did my best, man. I didn't want to be.
What did hip hop teach you? And all the stuff that you've been through, be it bad and good. What's the bit at the as? Because I know some days you like, I've retired. I'm gonna go play golf because that's what you're gonna do as soon as you leave here. I already know because you had one of my guys to go get you a TSU golf shot. We in here right now, so he's not gonna walk in.
Hatter, in all honesty, man, I hip hop kept me out of trouble. Hip hop was the big brother. Hip hop was the big brother because my big brother was always in jail. You know what I mean? Hip hop was my big brother. Hip hop was my job. It gave me income. Hip hop bought my mama a house. Hip hop rebuilt my grandmother's house. It bought my mother a car. I bought my uncle house. Hip hop's done a lot for me and the people around me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what hip hop has done for me. Now what I've done for hip hop was my best, and that's all that I have to offer hip hop was me at my best.
At this point, do you have any bad feelings, not just about hip hop, but about maybe the way Scarface as an artist was treated? Or things that that he should have achieved that he did not achieve? I'm
not mad at people that didn't like my music or didn't buy my music, or you know what I'm saying? I don't care about the critic part of it. But for the people that bought music, that admired the craft and talent that I brought to the table, you know, like it would have been really cool to get some of the money that came with that. You feel me?
You think you missed some of it?
I'm sure I missed a large portion of it, and
because
was
it something you did wrong or you didn't do right or that you should have did?
It was probably accountability on accounting. You know, it's probably it's probably not reading the fine print or not understanding the fine print. The wrong representation, you know, instead of, and I'm going to double back, and I'm going to.
If you tell me, Mike.
I'm sorry. I'm going to double back and jump into this class action suit when it comes to streaming and buying my shit off the internet, because I didn't agree to that. I didn't agree for you to stream my shit. I did agree for you to put my tapes and my CDs and my records in the stores, but I didn't agree to this platform. Okay. So I got to look at Universal, and I got to look at Virgin, and whoever else is involved in the streaming side of that shit. Apple, Spotify. Motherfuckers got to break that bread because I didn't agree to that.
There's some other people that also are part of that here locally in our city.
Well, I think that
because they could always come back to the table and say, "Hey, Face, you know what? Let's change up some things on our side to make this look."
They didn't do that. It's not in the contract at all. We couldn't foresee what happened.
I get that
in the future,
but you can.
You can what?
You could now.
Are you expecting Jay to go back on what that fucking contract said? Seriously. All right then.
No.
I'm moving on, man. Because we burning clock. So I know that Jay shit ain't gonna change. And by the way, Jay did some good shit with me.
But
he did good shit with me.
I got you.
He did great shit with me.
Could it not still be a conversation like, "Hey man, I ain't gonna even worry about what they doing. I know you maintain these masters. Let us know." I'm gonna leave it with a no. That's okay.
But that's cool.
Okay.
I mean, you can go and say okay to that, but Apple and Spotify and all of these other, they don't have my permission. See what I'm saying? When you do a contract, you have a letter of is it an inducement letter or some shit?
You agree to whatever they have.
Yeah, they're gonna put it out there.
Yeah.
But we didn't know nothing about streaming. We didn't know nothing about buying music online.
So that's not.
So you can't charge me a distribution fee for this now. So it's just some shit that's got to be looked at. That's all.
Okay.
It's got to be looked at.
Okay, that's fair.
It's got to be looked at because, sure, Rap-A-Lot granted the rights for them to
do what they do.
But I didn't give them the rights to do it.
Say less.
You have to sign an injunction letter or letter of inducement.
I don't know if that's what's called, but we most certainly understand the point that you got to give permission. Yeah,
I have to agree to
because you didn't give permission.
I agreed to have my CDs and my records and my vinyl distributed by Universal and blah blah blah. But Spotify and all of this shit, I don't know who the fuck you guys are. So how am I want my part of the money to go to me. I don't want my part of the money to go to nobody else. I'm getting 50 million streams, 46 million, 50 million streams. Mm-hmm. But I want my streaming part to come to me. You streaming my shit. You know?
I'm laughing, but it's fair.
Yeah, I'm always going to be fair.
It's fair. I got you.
I'm always going to be fair.
Let me ask you this.
Anything that's not fair is unconstitutional.
What was your mom's opinion of your career? I've never asked that. And I always wondered how she looked at her baby doing the music that he was doing and becoming the iconic MC that he became. What's her assessment of that? Or does she not even care or realize it, or you just gonna always be Brad to her and that's the end of the day?
I know that my mama and my grandmother, rest in peace, I know that they acted like they liked my music.
Even with the cursing and the profanity.
Yeah, my grandmother said it on my homies. My grandmother said it on my homies, like they don't even know you. like for real. I want to hear my grandmother's voice anyway.
You got on the phone? Oh, you pulling up the song?
My grandmother's dead. She passed in June.
Oh, I'm sorry, Face.
You mad at me, Granny? What I'm gonna be mad at you for?
My grandmother.
For the stuff I be saying on my record.
Yeah, well, no, I ain't mad at you for saying it.
I'm not.
No, I don't need to be mad at you for saying it.
So then everybody else shouldn't be mad at me either then.
Shouldn't be.
Okay.
They don't even know it's you know how.
I know, huh?
They don't know who it is.
I know, huh?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You can't be no more clear than that. How does Face? How would he like to be remembered by all of us? Have you ever had that kind of thought?
Shit, I was almost remembered by all of y'all.
Yeah, you was very sick.
When Rob G was checking on me every day.
How are you now? I'm glad you mentioned that. How are you now? Because you look great.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Man, I mean, do I sound great?
Yeah, you just the face we remember. You haven't missed
the same shit I was talking the last time.
You haven't missed the beat since you've been in here. That's all I can only admit to that.
Yeah, I mean,
but you were very sick, and it's hard to really text or try to talk to somebody during that time because
it's
it was. But when I saw the picture of you and your son, I'm like, very cool. That was very cool, and I'm happy that you are still here with us because I still think there is more for you to share, more responsibility for you to take for your children of hip hop.
my son.
Didn't he give you?
He did a very honorable thing. Mm-hmm. And as much as I appreciate him putting his life on the line for mine, I still think he was selfish.
Shut up, Face. Why?
Yeah, because he didn't want to let me go, man. He wanted to keep me here and torture me, man.
He's stupid. Because he did.
No, that's good kid.
Yeah, man, that's love right there, man. That's
real love. And I appreciate Chris, man. I like to make jokes like that.
Yeah, I didn't know you was going,
what?
Beautiful.
What? Well, come get this motherfucker back then. But it's my kid, man. He looked out for his old man, and I'm so proud. You know what I mean? I'll be all at the awards, at the Grammys and shit. Man, you met my son? Yes. He like,
how is he now? How is he?
He better than me. I'm running 3 miles a day and I fucking porn star, so he was doing way better than me. Shit. Life is good. Man, I always, I don't know if I get to tell you guys enough that I really appreciate what you've done for my career, what y'all done for my career. just here at TSU, here at every radio station that you've ever been at. You were super supportive of me in what I did. And you knew that I was fucking insane, but you never held that against me. You never held that against me.
I'm laughing because it's so true.
Yeah.
Me and Face have always had the craziest relationship that I've ever had with any artist, but I've always loved him. He's always been endearing. And I had a chance to already tell him, but I just want to share this story for you all so you know why. There's certain people in Houston hip-hop, I'ma always love them, and they can go out and do something wrong, and I'ma still see them as right. And when I walked away from radio, people didn't know if I was fired, let go, or whatever the situation is, because I didn't say nothing to anybody, and I always have to apologize for that. I just left one day and never came back. Yeah. The people in the building didn't know what was up. The people that own the company didn't. And I always apologize. I'm sorry. Some people in the company knew why, but I walked away. And I'm sitting there, Bloomberging it up in some shorts, sprawled out after the wife then walked away and went to work, chilling, don't care, figuring out what I'm going to do with the rest of my old-ass life. And the phone ring, and Face Mob appeared, because on my phone I put Mr. Face Mob. It says Face Mob. Face Mob. I'm like, man, what's going on with Face? Why Face calling me? I just stared at it for a second. What? And during that time, let me also be frank, I didn't answer anybody else's call, because oftentimes, times like this, people call you, they don't really give a shit. They just be nosy.
Know what happened.
And they want to gossip and have a story to tell. So I didn't answer the phone. And some of it could have been very genuine. But at that point, I didn't know where I was at. I was trying to figure out who I was. I didn't know I was this guy called a Mad Hatter for so long, and I was boxing. Anyway, so I see Face Mob. I go to the phone, get Face Mob, Mr. Face Mob. What's up? You good? Yeah, I'm good. Where you at? I just walked away, Face. You good? I'm good, Face. And that's all I wanted to know. And like he did the question, and that was it. It wasn't no long conversation drawn out. If you need help, nothing.
I wasn't trying to find out what happened or none of that. Just making sure you good.
He said, "Are you good?" I said I was
Need
good.
anything,
I
call
walked away. He left it there. Hang up. I said, I love this guy. He. I don't know if somebody told him. So I don't know anything. It was just cool that he realized it was out. 2 weeks went by and he like, all right, what the F is happening? You and a couple of other people that will always be near and dear to me. I don't care. People get mad at me because they think, oh, you got favorites. No, I'm gonna be frank. I got motherfuckers that acted like they actually gave a shit about me aside from their record being played.
Bruh.
And every time I try not to bother. I'm gonna say Brad now, Mr. Brad. I try not to never bother him. But when he was sick, you cool? You need anything? I wasn't trying to be, because this is a sensitive time, and you don't know where people's head is at. Rob, his mother just passed away. He in a sensitive place. I don't get too much in it. If he want to give, he my brother, so I'm gonna receive. But I don't get. My job is to see where his head at, but to let him know I care, I love you. Same with you. And if you need me, push the button. The end. So I never was but I was always caring and praying and hoping for the best. And now to see him here, talking as much trash as he talked today. Hold up, 2 things, Face, before I let you go. I'm gonna show you something that a friend sent to me. And you learn, here's why I do this podcast now. It's like Chuck D said, I don't rhyme for the sake of riddling. I don't podcast for the sake of podcasting. I don't make no money from it or nothing. It's just friends or people that I'm interested in because I just want to hear their story. I've seen this guy, and he's one of the guys that usually I just put over there, like the LLs, the Rakims, and I can't have them, excuse my French, y'all, fuck up any memory that I might have as it relates to the music that moved me along in life. You understand what I'm saying, Rob? And Rob, you dig where I'm coming from. And I try to tell Face that sometimes. I've always been scared to talk to Face because I can't have him ruin what I've placed over here. Him, the Bun B's, there's a couple of them. I can't have you ruin whatever that is. I can't, because it was that important to my life. And I know people might think it's funny or something like that. Music saves people in so many ways. And Face probably has no clue on how many people he probably talked off ledges, made them better people, was impactful in their lives because of the music he made. He may never even see these people. And that's the power of music. So I have to protect some of these spaces at all times. I don't care if it's Face or whomever else. I can't let them ruin it. And Face has never let me down. So when one of your favorite icons of rap calls your phone to find out where the F you been, you go like, God damn, that's why you're one of my favorites. That's why. I knew he was one of my favorites for a reason. I know I don't pick him wrong, Rob. All right, hold on. Before I let Face get out of here, I got to show him. First, Rob, I'm going to show you this. This is one of Scarface's first records. It's on 45.
Wow.
Can you see it? Take the phone. Look at it. Before you get out of here, whoever has this record probably has a lot of money.
Really?
This is one of your first records. This is more expensive than probably any Geto Boys record, something you got an autograph on or anything. This is, and you know it's Def Jam Blaster. He has a copy of the record, probably in pristine condition.
Ain't no doubt about it. Will was there.
He knows.
Will was there. Yeah.
So before I let you get out of here, I want to understand this 45 of not Scarface, ladies and gentlemen, DJ Akshen. Blaster, you amazing.
So, Beto, who I started with, John Beto. Tell you the story. We used to walk around with a tape box with all his papers and shit in it, like it was a briefcase. We met a guy named Jesse Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jesse, for even giving me the opportunity to put out a record. I was 14, maybe 15 years old. And I recorded a couple of songs. And dude was going to put them on wax for me. And when those records came back as 45s, Beto was pissed.
Was he?
Ooh, man. He was so mad. And I was like, man, it ain't no big deal, bro. Like, just leave it. We're gonna record some more shit. But that was about the time when 6 in the Morning and Dope Man and all of that shit was coming out, you know. The first Geto Boy record that came out, and I wasn't on, the Geto Boy records that I wasn't on.
Ghetto.
Those records came out before this, and everybody was rapping like that. But when Ice-T and Short and NWA came out talking about that street shit, I made a record called Scarface. Because we were selling rocks back then. All right? And I was like, shit, if they can go through it and talk about what they talk about, then let me write this song right quick, man, lay this motherfucker down. So I wrote the song. Lil Troy put it on wax. Steve Fournier took it to Jay. And
I never knew that part of the story.
Scarface was born.
Wow. I did not know that's how all that procession went.
I made a 45, and everybody rapped like that. And even this is, like I say, it was way before way after the Geto Boys, the first Geto Boys. You ain't nothing. I caught the bus. I caught the 40P Corps to rap a lot, car lot. The bus is the 40P Corps. I was about 13, 14, maybe 15 years old, maybe 14 years old. Caught the bus over there, and I was playing my music for him, and the guy in there, and I think it was Chief.
Big Chief?
It may have been Chief, and it may have been NC, but he told me that that's what that ain't what they was looking for.
That sounds like Big Chief.
I think it was the. It may have been the fucking Scarface record.
They said they wasn't looking for that.
Yeah, this was back then.
It was a different time.
It was a different time, and then Troy was fucking with it. And Troy put it on wax, and Steve Fournier took it to Jay. That's how they went. But I remember catching the 40p chord, and somebody telling me that wasn't what they was looking for.
So when they realized it was what they was looking for, because that song is
because you got to think about the way that we're wired, and then you got to think of the way that James is wired. He's wired way different. You know what I mean? So a lot of people would look at that record as like I was glamorizing hustling.
Mm-hmm.
But he saw the shit like this is what's really happening in the ghetto. So I'm gonna put him in the Geto Boys. So this is some ghetto shit he talking about.
Mm.
And Willie was already at the Rhinestone doing his ghetto shit.
Mm.
So it was me, Willie, and Jukebox. You remember Jukebox?
Yeah, ain't Jukebox Jay's?
No.
I thought Jukebox. No, that's Rap, the Kid Rap.
That's
the way he got the name of the company.
Right.
My apologies.
Yeah.
So originally, Geto Boys is you, Will.
No, not originally.
Okay.
Originally, Geto Boys is Ready Red.
Okay, that's the first.
I'm sorry, yeah. Ready Red, Raheem, Jukebox. And then Johnny C came down and Raheem was out. And then it was just Raheem, Ready Red, and Jukebox. And then Johnny C left, and me and Willie D became the Geto Boys and Jukebox. Something happened with Jukebox, and it was just me and Willie D.
Mm.
And then Bill came in and I can't remember who suggested that Bill become the third member of the group because Bill wasn't the rapper, y'all.
Yeah.
He was a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that Bill said, either Will or myself wrote for Bill.
He was clear. He called himself a lyrical actor. I'll never forget.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he called himself a lyrical actor.
Okay, and here's the thing. When we finally did get an album out, well, when I first signed with Rap-A-Lot, Bushwick Bill had me thinking he was Lil J. Yeah, I didn't know Jay. I had never seen Jay ever in my life. Like, I know that this is a little bitty dude walking around here with this big ass ring on that said James.
Mm-hmm.
So I
face is stupid.
For real. And then when I finally met Lil James, I knew that Bill was full of shit.
Oh God.
But that's real. Bill was, man, yeah, Bill had the James ring with the diamonds and shit on it, man. He was, I was like, damn, man, nigga Lil J.
Oh God.
Yeah, I can't make this shit up. But fast forward to now, we created that DJ Akshen album created the man that we know today. That was you know what? Let me go back a little further. I used to be, you remember Billy D?
I do.
I was his DJ first.
Wow. Never heard that.
Nope. I was his DJ first. And then my fucking lyrics was better than his.
Oh God.
So I'm like, how am I gonna be your DJ and I can rap better than you? How about if I can rap and DJ my own shit? So I was a DJ and I wanted all the action I could get at that time. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just scared to ask Face another question. You're like, no, because he has a tendency to he might drop way more truth than we ready for. So
Ask me one more, man.
No.
Just to see if I'm going to tell the truth.
No, because you will.
Please,
man.
Please,
I'm already concerned about just a few things you already say here.
Last
And I got to do do I edit this?
Yes, edit it.
Or not?
Yeah, edit it.
Look.
Ask one more question.
No.
Come on.
No.
Please.
You know what I really want to know?
What?
Is Scarface happy?
I'm glad you asked.
I don't get in the mic. Is Scarface where he is today? Is Scarface happy?
So hanging out with Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, he put something on my mind that was heavy. Like he said something profound. He said, people ask me, am I happy? And I say, fuck if I'm happy. I'm grateful. So to answer that question, fuck if I'm happy. I'm grateful, man.
Face.
Yes, sir?
I want to ask you, finally, what is success to you? But more importantly, when you look back over the course of your career, on that front, were you successful?
Say that again. I want to understand this clearly so I can answer correctly.
Because I generally like to end my podcast now like, what is success to you? But for me, it's twofold for you because of even how all the questions we were asking when we first started. But when you look back over the course of your career, were you successful in your career? And then I'm going to double back and say, what is success to you? But first I want to know, with your career, in your opinion, was Scarface successful?
Let me say this. I was successful in accomplishing what I set out to do early in life. You know, I always wanted to be an entertainer early in my life. So yes, I accomplished that. But on the financial side, did I accomplish everything that I was, was that? No, that wasn't, that accomplishment has not been met as of yet.
That's fair. That's fair.
But here's another thing that I want to put on everybody's mind, man. It's not about the money, bro. You know what I mean? It's not. If you do anything for money, you'll never have none. But if you do it because you love it, you'll never be without it. All right? So take that in consideration, everybody, when you make your moves, man. Do it because you love it. Don't do it because you want to make some money from it.
And what is success to Brad Jordan?
Success is the bills being paid. Success is to be able to go anywhere and be recognized as one of the best that ever did it and got away with it. That's success to me now. Success is to be able to hit a golf ball whenever you want to. Freedom is success. And success is to be sitting in front of two of my favorite people, favorite DJs, one that plays my record, used to play my record sometimes, and the other one who's teaching me how to DJ and doing the podcast or doing an interview with y'all. That's success for me, man. For somebody to listen to my shit and still want to interview me, man, that's success, bro. It's bigger than us sitting here and we don't want to be here.
Actually, I didn't want to talk to you about that. I just know somebody be looking at this like, oh, he ain't gonna ask the most obvious question.
Nah, it's cool.
But I respect it. I really want to. Let me come here. The one question I really want to ask you was what your mom thoughts, and it was great because I forgot about that record. Your grandmother was on it, so that was great. Yeah. And I really wanted to ask you about success, and more importantly, I wanted to toast to a person that I think is deserving of the toast, and to me, he doesn't know how important it is to me that he called me when I was at a very low place. And to see that, man, one of my favorite rappers in the whole world. I'm trying not to cry. It's very emotional for me. Picked up the phone to call little old me.
That's how I feel.
And I'm going to end the podcast right there. Because it's not supposed to be emotional. So y'all have a good day.
Yes, it is. It's supposed to be very emotional.
Love Face.
I really appreciate y'all having me.
Follow this. Face, I don't know if you do that much on social media.
Not really. I don't care.
But tell them anyway. What's the social media?
Brother Mob on IG and Scarface on Facebook. I don't have Twitter no more. They kicked me off.
You get it back. Your boy's over there now.
Who's over there?
Elon.
That motherfucker hates me.
All right, we end it right there. I love Face. Y'all have a great day. And thank y'all for checking out the podcast.
Man, am I really that bad, Rob? Really that bad?
Be quiet, man.
Am I that terrible?